You're not in control of your reality. In fact, everything you believe about your life, your choices, and even your thoughts is completely manufactured. The red pill isn't just a movie prop. It's a wake-up call you've been ignoring your entire life. I know this sounds like conspiracy theory nonsense, but stick with me for the next few minutes, because what you're about to discover will change how you see everything around you. We're not talking about sci-fi fantasy here. We're talking about documented psychological phenomena, social engineering tactics, and systems of control that have been studied by researchers for decades. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot the 7 unmistakable signs that you're living in a carefully constructed false reality, and more importantly, how to break free from it. Sign number 1, your emotional reactions are programmed. Here's something that'll blow your mind. Think about the last time you got angry at a news story, excited about a product launch, or anxious about some future event. You probably thought those emotions came from you, right? Wrong. Your emotional responses are being carefully programmed by algorithms, media manipulation, and psychological triggers that you don't even realize exist. Let me paint you a picture. You wake up, grab your phone, and immediately your brain gets flooded with dopamine from social media notifications. Your mood for the entire day has just been set by a computer program designed to keep you scrolling. Then you turn on the news, and within minutes you're feeling anxious, angry, or fearful about events that statistically have zero impact on your actual life. This isn't accident, it's design. Dr. Robert Epstein, a Harvard-trained psychologist, conducted research showing that search engines can shift voting preferences by up to 20% just by manipulating which search results appear first. Think about that. A simple algorithm change can literally alter your political beliefs without you even knowing it happened. But here's where it gets really creepy. Your phone is listening to your conversations, tracking your location, monitoring your heart rate, and analyzing your sleep patterns. All of this data feeds into AI systems that know you better than you know yourself. They can predict when you'll be most vulnerable to certain messages, when you'll be most likely to make impulsive purchases, and even when you're most likely to feel lonely or depressed. Netflix doesn't just recommend movies based on what you've watched. Their algorithm analyzes exactly when you pause, rewind, or skip scenes. They know if you're watching alone or with someone else. They can even detect your emotional state based on how quickly you click through menus. This data creates a psychological profile so detailed that they can literally program your entertainment to trigger specific emotional responses. The scary part? Most people have no idea this is happening. They think their preferences, their moods, and their reactions are authentically their own. But when you're living in a false reality, even your emotions become someone else's product. But that's just the beginning. Because once you realize your emotions are programmed, you'll start seeing something even more disturbing about your daily choices. Sign number 2, your choices are an illusion. You think you have free will, but let me show you how your choices are being made for you long before you even realize you're making a decision. This is probably the most disturbing sign because it attacks the very core of what makes us human, our ability to choose. Walk into any grocery store, and you'll see what looks like endless choice. Hundreds of cereal brands, dozens of soda options, aisles upon aisles of products. But here's the kicker. Most of these brands are owned by the same 10 companies. Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Nestle, and a handful of others control almost everything you see. They've created an illusion of choice while maintaining complete control over your options. But it goes deeper than corporate ownership. The entire layout of that store has been scientifically designed to manipulate your behavior. They put the milk in the back corner so you have to walk past thousands of impulse purchases. They play specific music at certain volumes to influence how fast you walk and how much you spend. Even the smell pumped through the ventilation system is designed to make you hungry and more likely to buy food. Your Netflix homepage looks personalized, but it's actually one of several pre-designed interfaces that you've been sorted into based on your psychological profile. What feels like infinite choice is actually a carefully curated selection designed to keep you watching for exact amounts of time that maximize their ad revenue and subscription retention. Dating apps are another perfect example. You think you're choosing who to swipe on, but the algorithm has already decided who you'll see and in what order. They deliberately show you profiles of people who are slightly out of your league to keep you frustrated and swiping longer. The app knows exactly when to show you a match to give you just enough dopamine to keep you addicted, but not enough satisfaction to actually delete the app and find real love. Even your career choices aren't as free as you think. LinkedIn's algorithm determines which job postings you see. Google's search results influence which companies you research. Your entire professional path is being subtly guided by systems designed to funnel workers into roles that serve corporate interests, not your personal fulfillment. The most chilling part is how this extends to your political beliefs. Your social media feeds create echo chambers that reinforce whatever views you already hold, making you think your opinions are more popular than they actually are. Meanwhile, you're being gradually exposed to more extreme versions of those same beliefs through carefully crafted content that pushes you further toward polarization. And if manipulated choices weren't disturbing enough, wait until you discover what's happening to your memories. Sign number 3. Your memories are being rewritten. This one's going to mess with your head because it challenges something you probably consider absolutely solid, your own memory. But here's the truth. Your memories are far more malleable than you think, and they're being manipulated on a scale that would make Orwell's Ministry of Truth jealous. Every time you remember something, you're not accessing a file in your brain like a computer. You're actually reconstructing that memory from fragments, and each time you do this, the memory changes slightly. Psychologists call this memory reconsolidation, and it means your memories are constantly being rewritten every single time you recall them. Now imagine what happens when powerful interests want to shape how you remember historical events, personal experiences, or even recent news stories. Search engines are quietly editing their results for past events. Articles are being updated without timestamps. Photos are being altered or removed from the internet entirely. The digital record of history is being rewritten in real time, and most people don't even notice. Here's a concrete example that'll blow your mind. Try searching for news articles about major events from just 5 years ago. You'll find that many of them have been updated with new information, different headlines, or completely altered narratives, often without any indication that changes were made. The internet, which was supposed to be this permanent record of human knowledge, is actually more fluid and editable than any history book ever was. Social media platforms are constantly changing their algorithms to surface different types of content from your past. That fight you had with your ex-boyfriend 3 years ago? Facebook might suddenly start showing you those old posts again to trigger specific emotional responses. Instagram might resurface photos from a time when you were happier or more confident, subtly influencing how you feel about your current life. But here's where it gets really sinister. Deepfake technology is now so advanced that anyone can create completely realistic videos of people saying or doing things they never actually said or did. And as this technology becomes more widespread, it's going to become impossible to trust any digital evidence of past events. Netflix has been caught quietly editing older movies and TV shows to remove content that's no longer considered politically acceptable, often without announcing these changes. George Orwell wrote about the government throwing inconvenient facts down the memory hole, but he never imagined that private corporations would be doing it for entertainment content. Your photo albums are being automatically organized and tagged by AI systems that decide which memories are worth preserving and which ones to bury. Google Photos doesn't just store your pictures, it actively curates them, deciding which moments from your life you'll be most likely to revisit and remember. The most disturbing part is how this affects your sense of identity. If your memories are being constantly manipulated and your access to historical truth is being filtered and edited, then who are you really? How can you trust your own judgment when the foundation of your knowledge is being shifted beneath your feet? But manipulated memories are just one piece of the puzzle, because even your closest relationships aren't what they seem. Sign number 4. Your social connections are artificial. Think about your closest relationships. Your best friends, your romantic partner, your family members. You probably believe these connections are genuine, built on shared experiences and mutual affection. But what if I told you that many of your social interactions are being artificially manufactured to serve purposes you don't understand? Social media platforms don't just connect you with people. They actively decide which of your friends and family members you'll see content from. Facebook's algorithm determines whether you'll see your best friend's wedding announcement or your grandmother's birthday post. They're literally controlling which relationships in your life get reinforced and which ones fade away. Dating apps aren't trying to help you find lasting love. They're designed to keep you single and swiping. If everyone found their perfect match and deleted the app, these companies would go out of business overnight. So they use psychological manipulation to keep you perpetually unsatisfied, always thinking the perfect person might be just one swipe away. But it goes deeper than digital manipulation. Think about your workplace friendships. Many companies now use culture fit algorithms when hiring, which means they're deliberately selecting people who will get along with existing employees in predictable ways. Your office friendships aren't random. They're the result of careful social engineering designed to maximize productivity and minimize conflict. Even your neighborhood isn't as organic as you think. Real estate algorithms and demographic targeting mean that people with similar political beliefs, income levels, and lifestyle preferences are being clustered together in ways that weren't possible before big data. You're not randomly living next to like-minded people. You've been sorted into a demographic bubble. Here's something that'll really creep you out. Retail stores and restaurants use facial recognition technology to track your emotions and social interactions. They know which friends you shop with, how long you spend talking to strangers, and even how your mood changes when you're around different people. This data is being used to design spaces and experiences that manipulate your social behavior in subtle but powerful ways. Your phone is constantly analyzing your communication patterns, tracking how often you text different people, monitoring the emotional tone of your messages, and even listening to your voice calls to detect stress levels and relationship satisfaction. All of this data feeds into systems that can predict when your relationships are likely to end, when you're most vulnerable to manipulation, and how to target you with content that will amplify or diminish your connections to specific people. Think about how many of your friendships exist primarily through social media now. You might have hundreds of friends online, but how many of them do you actually talk to in real life? The platforms are creating an illusion of social connection, while actually making people more isolated and dependent on digital validation. The most insidious part is how this affects your ability to form authentic relationships. When all of your social interactions are being mediated by algorithms designed to maximize engagement rather than genuine connection, you start to lose the ability to relate to people in natural, unfiltered ways. Now here's where things get really dark. Because it's not just your relationships being controlled, your entire future success has already been decided. Sign number 5. Your success is predetermined. Here's a hard truth that's going to shatter some illusions about the American dream and meritocracy. Your success in life isn't determined by your talent, hard work, or good decisions. It's being predetermined by systems so sophisticated and invisible that most people spend their entire lives believing they're in control of their destiny. Let's start with education, because that's where the sorting begins. Your zip code determines the quality of your schools, which determines which colleges you'll get into, which determines your career opportunities, which determines your lifetime earning potential. This isn't about individual merit. It's about systemic sorting that happens before you're even old enough to make real choices. But modern technology has made this sorting process far more precise and inescapable. Standardized testing now uses I to analyze not just your answers, but how long you spend on each question, which questions you skip, and even the pressure patterns of your pencil on the paper. This creates psychological profiles that follow you for the rest of your academic career. College admissions algorithms don't just look at your grades and test scores. They analyze your social media posts, your parents' financial data, your family's consumer purchasing patterns, and even your friends' academic performance. You're being evaluated as part of a network, not as an individual, and your success is being predicted based on statistical models that you never consented to be part of. Your job applications aren't being reviewed by humans anymore. They're being filtered by AI systems that make hiring decisions based on factors you'd never expect. These algorithms discriminate based on your name, your address, the fonts you use in your resume, and even the time of day you submit your application. Some companies are using voice analysis software that claims to detect personality traits from phone interviews, effectively screening out candidates based on how they sound rather than what they know. Once you get a job, your performance reviews aren't just based on your actual work. Many companies now use people analytics software that tracks your email patterns, your bathroom breaks, how long you spend at your desk, and even your facial expressions during meetings. Your career advancement is being determined by algorithms that analyze hundreds of micro-behaviors you're not even aware of. The stock market, real estate prices, and even the interest rates on your loans are all determined by high-frequency trading algorithms that operate faster than human thought. The economic conditions that determine your financial success are being manipulated by systems that can execute millions of transactions per second, making it impossible for individual investors to compete on anything resembling a level playing field. Social media algorithms determine which of your creative projects get seen and which ones get buried. Instagram's algorithm alone has more power to make or break an artist's career than any traditional gallery or record label ever did. Your success as a creator isn't based on the quality of your work. It's based on how well your content fits into algorithmic patterns designed to maximize platform engagement. Even your romantic relationships affect your economic prospects in ways that are now being quantified and predicted. Insurance companies are experimenting with using social media data to assess risk, which means your partner's credit score, health habits, and even their friends' behavior could affect your insurance rates. But predetermined success is just the surface level. Wait until you see how they're manipulating your physical reality itself. Sign number 6. Your physical reality is augmented. You probably think that what you see, hear, and experience in the physical world is just objective reality. But the truth is that your sensory experience is being augmented, filtered, and manipulated in ways that are becoming increasingly sophisticated and invisible. Let's start with something simple: the music playing in every store, restaurant, and public space you visit. This isn't just background noise. It's carefully selected using psychological research to influence your behavior. Fast-tempo music makes you walk faster and spend less time browsing. Slow music makes you linger and spend more money. Classical music makes you feel sophisticated and willing to pay premium prices. The soundtrack of your life is being composed by marketing psychologists. The lighting in retail spaces is designed to make certain products more appealing and to influence your energy levels and mood. Grocery stores use bright, white lights in the produce section to make fruits and vegetables look fresher, while using warmer lighting in the bakery section to make you feel hungry and comfortable. Even the temperature is carefully controlled. Slightly cooler temperatures make you walk faster past expensive items, while warmer areas encourage you to slow down and browse. Your smartphone screen is emitting blue light that's specifically designed to keep you awake and alert, disrupting your natural circadian rhythms and making you more susceptible to impulsive behavior. The colors, fonts, and interface designs are all based on psychological research about how to capture and hold human attention. Every notification sound has been crafted using the same principles that make casino slot machines addictive. But here's where it gets really wild. Augmented reality is now being deployed in subtle ways that most people don't even recognize. Some retail stores are using AR mirrors that digitally alter your appearance to make clothing look more flattering than it actually is. GPS navigation systems aren't just showing you the fastest route. They're routing you past businesses that have paid for increased foot traffic. Your car's entertainment system is analyzing your driving patterns, stress levels, and even your music preferences to create psychological profiles that are sold to insurance companies and advertisers. The route suggestions, the radio stations, and even the timing of phone calls are being optimized to keep you in specific emotional states. Smart home devices are constantly monitoring your environment and behavior. They know when you're awake, when you're having conversations, when you're watching TV, and even when you're having sex. This data is being used to create incredibly detailed profiles of your daily habits and emotional patterns. Your home isn't just where you live. It's become a data collection facility. Social media platforms are using your camera and microphone to detect your facial expressions and voice patterns, even when you're not actively using the apps. They're literally watching your reactions to content and using that data to fine-tune their manipulation strategies. Your face has become an interface for emotional surveillance. Even the layout of your city is being designed using behavioral psychology. Urban planners now use foot traffic data, consumer spending patterns, and social media check-ins to design public spaces that encourage specific types of behavior. The bench you sit on, the path you walk, and the view you see from your apartment window are all the result of calculated decisions designed to influence your mood and behavior. And if manipulating your present reality wasn't enough, here's the most terrifying part of all. Sign number 7. Your future is being predicted and controlled. This is the most chilling sign of all, because it reveals how the system doesn't just control your present reality. It's actively shaping your future in ways that make your life path feel predetermined. Your future isn't unfolding naturally based on your choices and circumstances. It's being calculated, predicted, and manipulated by systems that know what you're going to do before you do. Credit scoring algorithms don't just evaluate your past financial behavior. They predict your future actions with scary accuracy. These systems know whether you're likely to get divorced, lose your job, develop health problems, or make major purchases years before these events actually happen. Your future is being reduced to a probability score that determines everything from your loan approvals to your insurance rates. Healthcare systems are using predictive algorithms to determine which patients are most likely to develop certain diseases, become non-compliant with treatment, or require expensive interventions. This means your medical care is being influenced by statistical predictions about your future behavior rather than your current symptoms or needs. Educational institutions are using early warning systems that can predict which students are likely to drop out, struggle academically, or cause disciplinary problems. These predictions become self-fulfilling prophecies as teachers and administrators unconsciously alter their behavior based on algorithmic assessments of student potential. Employment algorithms aren't just screening current job applications. They're predicting which employees are most likely to quit, get promoted, or become problems for the company. Many workers are being secretly categorized as flight risks or high performers, based on data they don't even know is being collected about them. Social media platforms can predict major life events like pregnancies, breakups, job changes, and even mental health crises with remarkable accuracy. They're not just responding to your behavior, they're anticipating it and positioning content to influence your decisions during vulnerable moments. Dating algorithms don't just match you with compatible partners. They predict how long your relationships will last, whether you're likely to cheat, and when you're most vulnerable to emotional manipulation. The apps know which users are most likely to make premium purchases after breakups and time their marketing accordingly. Investment algorithms are making financial decisions based on predictions about your future behavior, career trajectory, and life circumstances. Your retirement planning, insurance policies, and investment opportunities are all being determined by systems that claim to know your future better than you do. The most disturbing part is how these predictions create feedback loops that make themselves come true. When algorithms predict you're likely to fail, struggle, or make poor decisions, the systems start treating you differently in ways that actually increase the likelihood of those negative outcomes. Your future becomes a statistical prediction that the system then works to fulfill. Look, I know this is a lot to process, and you might be feeling overwhelmed or even skeptical about some of what I've shared. But here's the thing. Awareness is the first step toward freedom. Subscribe now if you want to keep learning how to recognize and break free from these systems of control, because this is just the beginning.